One.
One.
One. Well, you don't say one.
Oh.
I say one.
You
That's
do?
the joke. You go 3, 2.
Oh.
That's what he always does. He goes 3, 2, and then he points at me, and I go 1, and he's like, "That's not how that works."
No one's supposed to say one because you go 3, 2, and then if
You
you
need
say
to turn
one,
you up.
it picks up your.
Right. That's why you don't say one.
Right.
Because they turn the camera on, and they don't want to hear one.
Exactly.
No. You're 2.
Okay.
I'm 1.
Okay. You're number 1.
I am always number 1. Who does number 2 work for? Number 1. What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
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 How we doing? Look, I want a palette cleanser, so we're gonna paint a knight.
A knight.
It's a crusader, a knight crusader.
I bet you could do that whole thing today.
You think?
Yeah.
Are you throwing the gauntlet down, Jen?
I mean, you know.
Is Jen throwing the gauntlet down? I don't know if I can.
You could
Maybe.
use one step and you could, I bet.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do we want to do like perhaps?
Oh, Sugar Rush said, I bet he can't. That sounds more like a challenge.
Well, now you guys are yelling at me. I think we'll do this guy first. This guy needs to have some seam scrape. Philip failed me.
Uh-oh.
That one needs to have some
Philip,
seamage
Philip.
done.
Photon, did you not read the title? Towel puns are not here today.
Jen is here though. The talpones are not. Yeah. All right, we'll pray tonight. I don't know what I want the heraldry to look like. This is for my 100 Kingdoms army, and the 100 Kingdoms stuff that I painted already had some knights that had purple and yellow. But I'm looking at this guy, and I kind of want orange. Like an orange tunic, and then like maybe yellow on the shield.
What is this from?
It's from the medieval ages.
No, but I mean, like, what is it from a game? Like, what game?
Yes, Conquest.
Conquest. Okay.
Conquest. I'm thinking we could do orange on the tunic. Do we quarter it? Do we do something really crazy? Maybe.
Be crazy. It's Friday.
Be crazy on Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But if you're crazy on Friday, does that mean you have to be crazy with all of the future paintings of the rest of these guys?
Probably.
Yeah. So I guess I'll leave that up to you.
They're technically crusaders, so they would be fairly bland. But I feel like we can do whatever we want, because the world is our oyster.
Yeah, you do whatever you want all the time.
And we do what we want.
Well, not really, but when it comes to painting, pretty much, sort of.
Seems legit. But I never really have a good plan. So I need to figure out what would be a good plan here.
Baldman said, hope you both have a great weekend, but the real question is, what is for dinner today?
It is always the real
That's
question,
always the
and
question.
I'm super hungry.
He's hungry, but he's also leaving. But you don't have to be there till 6. So we have time to eat then.
We could eat after if we go quick.
If we go quick. We have to go right away. We have
And
to have a
then I
decision
come back
locked
and get all my
down.
stuff. Come back and get all my stuff. I gotta go play games tonight, man. I gotta go play games tonight. So I wonder, should we do some one step? We could do some one step.
Jeff before Dishonor said paint him like Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Sir Robin, brave Sir Robin was the green? Or am I wrong? Was he yellow? Crusaders I think of as having, more of a cream, dirty cream cloth, because then they would just have the Crusader cross on them. But this isn't historically correct. These are called Crusaders, but they can be whatever colors we want. The knights that I had done, I was doing in purple and yellow, but I'm assuming I can do any color I want. Question mark? Question mark? Or I could just do purple and yellow.
T-Fresh, we don't do that here.
Let's just do the purple and yellow so that I can keep with the scheme. And maybe we'll quarter the...
Stan, it's a conquest.
We could bisect the tunic so it's not as complicated. So it's in purple and yellow, and then just do the shield in yellow. Could be fun. Maybe? Question mark? Let's just get painting. Who cares?
Do that.
We'll figure it out as we go. Oh, that's right. He had a chicken on the shield, right? That feels right.
Yes, Sir Robin also had a chicken emblem on the shield.
Yep. Let's think about this.
What's a tarpon? Isn't that a fish?
Terrapin?
I don't know.
A terrapin? Let's do a purple line. Not in the middle when you're doing this. You want to offset it to the side you're going to paint purple, because the line has a thickness, and so you want one side of the line to represent the middle of the model, not the line itself to represent the middle of the model. Haha, blowing minds already, and we just started.
Sir Bedivere had the chicken? Is that what you're saying, Justin?
I was on a call today with the Parabellum guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the first one, right?
That was my first morning call today.
For being Friday days off, Jason was very busy today.
I worked all the way up until stream.
Yeah. Didn't even have time for lunch.
No lunch.
Had to eat a year-old string cheese. Wouldn't accept my goldfish.
Nope. Those are your goldfish.
I
will not rob from the mouths of babes.
I told you I was done eating them.
I will not rob from the mouths of babes. Then why did you bring them?
Well, I brought them.
See?
I didn't know how many I would
lying.
want. I had already put them away and moved on to the fig bar. I was done with the goldfish.
Not buying it. She will do this. She'll be like, I would rather have you survive.
Well, I mean, it's really important that you survive, so I was willing to sacrifice some goldfish. But I was done eating them. They're sitting out there. I don't even want them anymore. Do you want me to bring them into here so you can snack if you
No,
need
because
to?
we're going out to dinner after, aren't we? I don't want to ruin my dinner.
Yes.
Because then I have to go play toy soldiers with people.
Swish, 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 swish-ishy said, no matter what Jason says, we're always going to be on Jen's side. Thank you. I appreciate
kind of the story of my life. Trust me. She's been around on this stream for long enough.
Swish, swish, she also said, working all those hours and still looking sharp.
Thank you, thank you.
Sharp looking guy.
Sharp dressed man.
Yep. Hello, everyone.
I hope everybody has had a wonderful week and that you got some
too.
cool plans for the weekend, maybe? Anybody got some awesome plans?
What's
Anything
going
cool going on?
this
Anybody getting
weekend?
married?
Oh, that would be a cool plan.
Anybody
Darth Vader
Anybody have childbirth happening this weekend?
gifted 5 subs.
What? Thank you, thank you.
Harlem J, Canopy C Siga, Deceased Yak. Oh no, Diseased Yak. Not deceased. Diseased.
She was like,
as bad. I was still
deceased.
And Hazmat and Double CG got gifted subs from Darth Vader.
Hey, you know what? The disease could be a fever for painting. At which point in time it's not an awe. You could have, I have a fever. I have a fever for painting.
Oshide got brush scoop today. Awesome. Your brushes seem to like it. Good. Hope that.
Always a bonus.
Yeah.
When the brush is like what you bought for the brushes.
Yes.
Seems like the right start. You're on the right trajectory, as it were.
Bearded Bunny taking the wee one to visit Grandma.
Aren't all bunnies bearded, technically?
I don't know.
I mean, when you have
they
hair
have
on your
hair,
whole body,
that's true.
aren't you bearded?
Your whole body is a beard?
No, but you definitely have hair where there should be a beard.
It's true.
I feel like every bunny is bearded. Maybe that's the point.
Chuck going for a bike ride and painting tomorrow. Awesome. That it's a perfect Saturday. An audiobook and painting for Scorched Earth.
Nice. I like the painting. Like
Photon
the audio. What book
Cosmonaut.
you listening to? Scorched?
Yeah, what book? Photon Cosmonaut said nothing like marriage or childbirth. I just had my first Star Wars Legion tournament.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Have fun.
Somewhat
I'm going
civil.
to learn how to play War Machine all over again tonight. Jen will attest. War Machine was my game that took me away every Wednesday night for quite a long time. And then COVID hit, and our War Machine group disbanded. And then War Machine kind of bit the big one in the Phoenix area, and we didn't have the ability to do that anymore. It really sucked. So I'm excited to go with Jordan,
Baby J.
Baby J, our very own Baby J is going to meet me up there. He got all sorts of excited and shot me a. He came up here yesterday during lunch. And hunted through our pile of amazing amount of models that we have laying around here, and found some War Machine that he was wanting to build. And he, you know, because we're going to learn and have to take our armies and stuff like that. And I had purchased an army from a local and have a bunch of armies here, and so we knew we had it. We were like, okay, great, we can make this happen. Well, then Babe J sends me a message today, and he goes, I may have done something bad, and he bought an army from a local. A whole bunch of stuff. War Machine right now is super cheap to buy because there's a lot of people that, you know, used to play. And since now there's not a whole lot of people to play with, they have unloaded all of their armies for pretty cheap.
So it's just cycling. It's a new, they've been sitting for a while.
Cycling.
And now a whole bunch of new people are going to start playing it. And then those people who sold their armies are going to feel regret.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way that works. And it becomes guilt when the game catches back on.
Yeah.
And, but the game did change and does have a bunch of new stuff, and they made it harder. Well, at first they made it harder to play the old stuff, but then they have released the ability for you to play all of your old armies. So yes, you could wind up with remorse if you're not careful, because now it is easier than ever to play the old armies. So
Frigid Phoenix will be there tonight.
Fantastic, Frigid. Be good to see you.
You bring in your new bride?
I don't have a new bride. What are you talking about?
I'm asking
Frigid How do you know Phoenix. About that? My life just changed dramatically. Jen's on to me.
This is I do, yes. Happy Father's Day. Father's Day is this weekend. So Somewhat Civil is taking his 2 sons.
Make sure to have a delicious Coke
with my dad, who continues to kick cancer in the face.
Fantastic. Glad to hear it.
Awesome. Oh, Droth Vader, congratulations! Droth got a promotion on Tuesday and is sharing the love with those gifted subs.
Awesome.
Papa Chicken said roses are bold pyro red, violets ain't. Please, for the love of God, don't eat the paint.
Hired. New director of marketing right there.
Painting Bort, question. I was watching the super helpful black armor video where you used a black wash to darken the armor, and was wondering what the recommended drying time is when using pro-acryl washes.
Are you wondering when you can do stuff over the top of them?
That's what I'm gathering.
Basically, when they're dry to the touch, all pro acryl is really good for, now do the next part. If you put a very thin coat of paint, whether via airbrush or a thin wash, then you may want to let it cure a little bit longer or varnish over the top, just depending on what you're trying to do over the top of it. Because if you're going to go with another very wet filter approach over the top of paint, then you may want to varnish and let that cure. A lot of it just has to do with how you're trying to use the paint, right? Re-wetting the surface over acrylics can be problematic if you don't give them enough time to cure. But under normal situations like layering and even glazing, I just wait till it's dry to the touch all the time.
Katarina will be outdoor painting, first offense, then minis.
Fantastic.
Jealous of any outdoor activities at this time of year. We can't do that here.
You can.
I mean, if you're crazy.
Yeah, it gets hot. It's like the surface of the sun. So if you have a death wish, you can do that. We're going to go ahead and bisect the shield too.
The Fresh bowling tournament tomorrow, and lots of painting Dark Angels and a Lizard Man from AOS in a 4th of July scheme.
Nice.
That sounds fun.
Nice.
Swish Swishy building my Armageddon box this week. Painting and learning to make video games.
Vidya games.
Yep.
The kids and your damn Vidya games.
Scorched Earth said my other half loves the Throne of Glass series, so I've been going through it, starting book 5,
Throne
Queen of
Glass,
Shadows.
I don't know. I don't know Throne of Glass. Fantasy, I assume?
Musty Bugbear. First of all, if it's a real question, it's not a dumb one. If it's really something that you need to know, it's not a dumb question. Does a zenithal highlight have an effect when using the standard opacity paint? It's like if you zenithal, can you still
it will,
get any benefit from it?
Because when you say standard opacity, with colors like Proacryl, there is no such thing as standard opacity because all of our paints are made like fine art paints. And so the opacity is going to be based on the pigment in the paint a lot of times. There are some colors where we use opacifiers like white or black to make sure they're opaque. But, like when you use a yellow, that's why you can see through a yellow more, because yellow pigment is just by its very nature more semi-transparent or semi-opaque, depending on the pigment. And so, you don't really have what I would call a standard. But when using opaque paints, you will cover up, like what I'm doing right now. You'll cover up the zenithal, and it won't have as visible of an effect. So the easy answer is no, but it does guide you a little bit. If you're going to be painting and you want to do it with opaque paints and standard layering procedures and things like that, then I would suggest when you do your zenithal to take a quick photo shot of it on your phone. And then refer back to that photo as you layer your paint up so that it can still have the impact you want it to have and guide you with where your highlights and shadows need to go, right? Because you can see, like, I've just covered up everything on that shield. So, but if I go back and look at the photo later, then I can see where it's intended to be dark on the shield versus bright. And for those who are just kind of starting out and getting a feel for how light plays across surfaces, that's a great way to do it. So it can still have a lot of benefit.
Scorched Earth, I was just about to ask if it was steamy fantasy. It's romantic-y, someone said.
What?
The series. You'd asked about the audiobook, Throne of Glass series.
So it's
romantic. It's like fantasy, romance, fantasy.
So it's all
fantasy romance.
Hot, bulging action.
No, but Scorched Earth said no smut, though. I'm not a fan of the smut books.
Okay. I'm listening. What is the book I'm listening to? I never remember. And it gets kind of awkward the way the writer delves into the interactions between people. It's about a group of insane antagonists that are at the root of basically all evil things that happen in the world. Like it happens in the 80s, but you find out that like these people can mind control people, and they by doing so and by mind controlling and having people go commit evil acts, they are kind of like vampires. They stay young by doing these things. And so you find out that all the serial killers in history and all of this has been done by this cabal of people who mind control these people, but they have to get close to them. So it's like a game for them. They have to go and find people with the right mind state, whether weakened or depressed or whatever, find them and then mind control them to do these horrible acts, and that through expending this energy, they stay young.
Okay.
In that vampiric sense. And so it's an interesting book, because it does very much tie in historical acts and put a twist on them as to why that really happened, because it's like, that's kind of unexplainable. Well, now they're explaining it through these people being behind it.
That's interesting.
And setting up this whole thing, like some of the Hollywood stuff that they're doing and all that. But in cases, some of them are mind controlling and utilizing people in very dastardly ways. And sometimes it gets uncomfortable listening to it. So, which means it's a good book, but...
Do you remember the title?
I will look in I don't have my phone here, so I can't look. I don't remember the title right now. It's a Dean Koontz novel, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Interesting. Ogre said, wife got me more hobby stuff. I got One Step and special sauce and some dark gray primer for Father's Day.
Awesome. Happy Father's Day.
Sasquatch wife got me an art print from a local artist for Father's Day. Awesome.
That's also awesome. I forget it's Father's Day.
I know.
How
It's
great.
not a thing for us, really. other than Jason's dog dad. Yes, Stan,
Yeah,
Father's
what are
Day.
the dogs getting me?
Jeez.
Nuisance.
What did they get me for Mother's Day?
Nuisance.
Nothing.
They got you love and affection.
Oh, that's what they're getting you.
That's not my love language. My love language is toys.
Here, you buy something and pretend the dog's got it for you.
Okay. All right. I did. I bought a Signar army.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cora.
Yes, Father's Day on Sunday, Stan. Oh, Double T, Evo, Go Bag Evo arriving tomorrow.
Nice. You love to hear it. Evo's being back in stock is a great thing for many people. They are very excited.
Yeah.
Lots of people contacting us saying, "You made my day."
Romanticy.
Romanticy. That's a good term.
There's a bookstore right on 7th Street. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a ladies' bookstore, but it's very heavily focused on like romantic fantasy, and they also do tattoos there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How funny. Is that where you went to get a tattoo once?
No.
Oh.
Cornflake Justice wants to know what Pro Acryl Yellow should or would be a good complement for orcs with red accents.
Orcs with red accents?
Yes.
What color's the skin? Well, I mean, with red accents, I think, you can go any way you want to. Warm yellow is always my go-to. But bismuth is really good. Bismuth is a really neat, bright, clean yellow that could look really cool. Golden yellow is great. Again, it's kind of your preference. Yellows tend to act very similar unless you orange them out a whole lot or switch over into more greenish, right? If you're going with a pretty on hue standard yellow,
pretty bright green,
then I think warm yellow might do better against bright green because it'll be a little bit darker. These are going to be yellow, so I'm starting with burnt orange to eventually turn this side yellow, but I want it to be dirty, like night fighting in the mud kind of yellow. So the combo here will go to warm yellow and then to pale yellow as a highlight.
I'm already a little behind on chat because I like to get caught up with all of my friends, so I read everything. So I'll get there. If you have a question, just hang tight. It will really help a lot if you at Monument Hobbies, because then it puts a little box around it for me and it'll stand out. But Polygon would like to know if you have any advice on helping people develop their confidence around painting. I sometimes struggle about feeling good enough.
Okay,
really
so
quick,
first off,
somewhat civil said, just slap paint on the model, strangle that imposter syndrome, and put the paint on.
100%. The term imposter syndrome really does exist because of the interweb being the great and horrible entity that it is. You can jump on the internet and come on this show, look on Instagram, find pictures of the most amazing things ever. And in today's world, especially, the instant gratification mechanism of the internet makes it to where you think that, oh, I want to be a part of this. I want to paint models. I want to have them look rad. I really want to be able to, paint Space Marines, and let's do a really cool Space Marine army. And I want to look like the guy on the internet. And then you start realizing there's a mechanic to it that requires development and training and practice, that nobody just picks up a brush and is instantaneously a great painter, because the hand-eye coordination, the muscle memory, the loading the paintbrush, and all the things that go along with painting are very technical, even though there are very, very simple tools. So the first thing I say is don't worry about this term good enough, because good enough to me relates around the fun I have painting, right? Was today's session painting on stream good enough? It's always great, because I always get to hang out with you guys and paint. What happens on the model happens on the model, and I'm not ever worried about it, right? So I think tuning your brain more towards that first, saying, is this something you want to embark on and have a fun journey? Then have fun on that journey and block out all the noise outside while you're painting. Have it be stuff that you can look at that energizes you to paint because you see something cool, but while you're painting, only be painting against the last thing as a comparison that you painted. versus anything else out in the world. So if you've never painted a single model, your first model you can't do any wrong on because you've never done anything else. So everything you do is going to be great. Then your second model, compare back to your first one and see what you've learned and where you've practiced and gotten better. Recognize on the last model that you painted where you could have done something a little bit better. And in no time, you'll be being able to feel comfortable, if you want to, post your models on the internet, right? That's it. It really is that simple. I know that for some people that's tough to do, because it's tough to blot the noise out. So, but that's really where you guys spend your time, right? This is a you thing, right? This is a community that loves each other and loves the thrill of painting and the joy of sharing our paint and all that. But at the end of the day, this is a you thing. This is a very private hobby when it comes down to it, unless you're painting with a group all the time. And so whatever makes you happy with it is all it needs to do. 100%.
That's good advice. Chessboxing Ogre wants to know if you are a proponent of the color triad system, and if you are, how do you recommend picking a triad of color? Is it simply best judgment to your own eye, or are there guidelines to find complementary colors in a triad?
So this term color triad system, I don't understand. Triads as a way to let me figure out how I want to answer this. We get thrown a lot of language in the hobby that does not directly relate to what I would call true artistic principles, right? So, you know, certain manufacturers will throw out terminology like, you know, the base shade layer system. And I'm like, okay, great. But if we start using that as a standard, it may not track with everybody. So a triad is simply three colors that work well together, right? Now, do I like that? Sure, I love it. You'll see me use that type of system thinking all the time, because you'll hear me say, okay, every spot on the model, in my opinion, needs three values. It needs to have a shade, it needs to have a mid-tone, and it needs to have a highlight, right? That's how we get volume. And volume is what gives a three-dimensional thing shape. It's the old, when you draw a circle on the page, it's just a circle. When you shade it, it becomes a ball, right? When you give it some darkness, some mid-tone, and some highlight, it becomes more realistic. So I do believe in using that, three values, okay? Now, when you insert color on that, and one thing you'll learn around here is that I say that value and volume do all the work and color gets all the credit. In our world especially, where we don't have as many people that come from a traditional art background, they come because the models are cool, I want to play the games, it looks cool, I want to paint. You may not bring a fundamental understanding of art with you. I'm not classically trained as an artist. I came as just a fool wanting to paint stuff and learning along the way. So I'm right there with you. But as you start to learn, you start to realize that the art side of it is based around the creation of the idea of light. Light is simply bright or dark, and color is secondary. So when I think of triads and color, I kind of push all that to the side because it's sort of irrelevant, unless what we're talking about is a dark color, a mid-tone color, and a bright color. But notice how I'm not saying dark purple, purple, bright purple. Right. It's dark color, mid-tone color, bright color. Tune your brain that way, and now you'll start wondering or start worrying, stop worrying, and getting overly analytical about what color is going to work. It's like I like to test people to paint a model in black and white and mix the black and white to make gray and paint the model and make it look like something cool when you don't have any color. Because you can do it. It is a task and it is an uphill battle for people who are just starting, so I don't think this is a beginner thing. But if you can learn to paint well with just black and white, and make it look realistic, make me understand what is skin, what is leather, what is metal, when you don't have color to do it. Because our eyes are trained that if you paint boots brown, we think leather, right? Because brown boots are leather, right? If I paint skin, you know, a Caucasian or a dark skin tone, it separates itself on the model as being skin. But when you only have textures and values to play with, that's really where you start to fundamentally break away from the fear and over analysis of what color should I use. And you start realizing that, like in my case, painting yellow, I want a dirty yellow shield and yellow tunic. And so I'm starting with burnt orange, because burnt orange is a nice, earthy, dark tone that is going to be able to give me a dirty background for my yellow, rather than dark yellow, mid-tone yellow, bright yellow, right? I just want a dark color to start with. I can start with brown, I can start with purple, I can start with anything. And that gives you a lot more freedom when you think that way. So in that sense, yes, I like the triad system, if we want to call it that, in the term of value, but not in terms of color. I don't teach people to go look at a color wheel and pick all their colors. I think that your freedom in painting and your development as a painter will start to really take root when you stop worrying about color and you start worrying about how do I make the model look like, because one of the things we do is we will go back and filter a color into black and white, right?
Oh, you did that. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah. This model's bad, right? Because we don't have anything on it as far as volumes yet. We just have base coats. But like, look at this guy in black and white. You can still tell lots about this model, even when we've stripped all the color away. That's what I teach people to focus on when you're painting. Where do you put that brightness to make this look like metal, to shine like metal, to have this cup and this iron halo on him shine like metal, right? How do you make a good volume for the shoulder plate and the chest so that you get midtones and shadows and highlights so you can still tell that the leg is a cylinder. The chest has some roundness as it goes up towards the gorget, right? And so now you start to realize that this focus will make you a better painter and have a better quality output when you're not worried about color, because then you can put any color on this, right? And you can just choose. But that's the focus. And so that's my TED Talk.
Good one.
But yes. And then when you start getting into values and understanding dark, mid-tone, light, now you can start picking colors based on what's a good dark color that goes with yellow, and it can be anything. What's a good dark color that if I'm painting that red marine, what's a good dark shadow for it? I use Payne's Gray. It's a blue-ish, like a bluish black, right? And so I use Payne's Gray and then dark plum and then red. And so it's like, okay, my dark was Payne's Gray, my mid-tone was plum, and my bright color was red. The bright color can typically be the color you see, but that can also be the midtone. Just depends on your style of painting. So you'll play around with that a lot, because when people ask me, hey, what color should I use for this, this, and this, I have to know more. Because if you're a person that likes to paint very bright and vivid colors, then your highlight color may be the one that represents what the model looks like. If you paint more realistic, your mid-tone will be the color that the model looks like. And if you paint more grimdark, then the dark color may be what the model looks like. So you have to set that goal for yourself before you can pick your colors. Because you have to know, like, okay, where are my values going to be on this? Am I painting like Jen does? Jen will paint bright, vivid colors. And so her highlight will direct what the model looks like at the end more than mine will. Mine are more realistic. So mine, the mid-tone color that I choose is generally what the model looks like. And then if you're painting, like I said, like grimdark, Nurgle all the time, then your dark colors may do more for what the model looks like, right? So if you're saying I paint the grimdark style and I want to make a brown, a brownish, greenish Nurgle, then I'm going to focus on what the dark and mid-tone colors need to be and care less about the highlight. It's not going to matter as much. But if you tell me you paint like you do with like the Lisa Frank thing, then I'm going to focus more on the mid-tone and the highlight side of colors, and the darkness doesn't really matter. You just need a dark color. That makes some sense?
All right, back to that book you were talking about. A couple potential titles. Could it have been either Insanity or Night Chills? Does that sound familiar? No.
No. Dang it. It is Kuntz, though. I'm pretty sure. I could be lying, but I think it's Dean Kuntz.
Oaken Fury is wondering if this, or is wanting to confirm that this red that you're using right now is not one step, right?
No, I'm not using any one-step colors. I chose not to. I decided I just did layer it up because I'm going to match
what red you got
somewhat closely to the knights I've already painted. I've done them all on airbrush, and I don't remember what colors I used. They're at home.
What red is this?
This is not red. This is burnt orange.
Burnt orange. Oh, it looks very red.
Yeah, it's burnt orange.
Yellow orange. Let's see. Cornflake Justice used some wizard's butt to base the orc's pants.
Nice.
Great effect with yellow over it. SideQuest Kitchen. Is it a common thing that the Pro Acryl bottles gather pressure? Using them the other day, every bottle I opened exploded.
So our bottles actually seal,
Is
which
there a way
is
to
rare.
fix that, or just open it with paper towel vision?
They're rare in our industry to have bottles sealed, but we believe that your paint is valuable and we want it to stay usable. So our paint seals. So just like any sealed product, if the barometric pressure changes, temperature changes, if it goes from cold to hot, night to day, if you haven't used them in a while, if you travel up a mountain, that kind of stuff, it will build up pressure. So if you see that happening, like when I travel with my paints, the first thing you do is you just crack the lid here until you know it's loose on the thread. That'll let the pressure back off. If you open here, you might get a little bit of paint spurt out. Yeah. So just do this and you won't have any problem. I've even had paints when we've flown where I go here and you hear it go tss.
Yeah.
They're not carbonated or anything, but the pressure in the bottle, because it's sealed, will build up. So just give it a slight twist on the full cap, not just the dropper lid.
Going back to your advice about, the imposter syndrome, things like that. Got a lot of people who agree with you there. Tech Badger said paint the models the way you want because it's fun for you. Scorched Earth said I started painting for a specific result. Like Jason said, the models I'd seen online, it robbed the joy from painting. Now I'm just trying to just paint, like he said, doing what's fun, playing, experimenting, and learning, and it's really bringing the joy back.
Cool. Very cool.
Stream and Monument Hobbies gave me that. Forever will love Monument Hobbies.
I do want to definitely make sure that you don't hear me saying not to utilize the internet for inspiration.
Sure.
Because one of the things as an artist is your inspiration is key. And most artists start to really bog down when they can't find inspiration in the world around them, right? And that can happen through whatever. You're having a tough day at work, and so nothing's inspiring, everything pisses you off. Those are the days where I have to back up, because that happens to me, right? Jen knows, I'll walk home and be like, grumble, 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 and it takes her and the dogs, livening the day up before I get back into, everything's okay, right? And that's not the time to be trying to find your inspiration. You have to know that about yourself, right? Because sometimes you can't force yourself out of your hole immediately into the hobby. We've talked about that before with don't expect the hobby to cure your bad day. You have to cure your bad day by wanting to hobby, right? So you have to set it to where it's like, okay, I've had a rough day. I'm going to go home and grab an hour to hobby. And then that's, then now you're going to make that transition better. But find that inspiration. Use the internet. I do. I wander around and somebody will paint a model and I'll look at it and go, oh, wow, I never thought about that color combo. I'm going to try that. Yeah. I don't necessarily get into how they use the color. I'm just like, oh, that would be great. And then I'll go play around with it and see how I make it work. But I find inspiration in all sorts of stuff. Street signs, cars I see, people's clothing, ideas we talk about. Oh, that would be kind of funky, And so if you open your mind as you start painting more and you start looking at the world around you, we have lots of people in chat. T. Schmidt, I'll pick on him. He'll tell me that I can't travel around the same way because I'm always looking at things and saying, oh, I get that highlight now. You'll see a shine on a car that's dirty and your brain will go immediately into how can I paint that? What's happening to make that there? Because I want my army to look like that. And that's where your inspiration starts coming from. And then the internet becomes a very useful tool. All those painters and painting miniatures that you see now becomes a useful tool because you're like, oh, I really like that part of what I saw. But like somebody mentioned, I don't think it's very healthy to say, I want to do that on my models. Yeah. That's a slippery slope. Because it's not bad to set that goal to see a model and say, one day I'm going to paint like that. That's different. Setting that goal is good. That can be a very healthy thing. Sitting down with your model and saying, I'm going to make it look exactly like that, I think is more a detriment than anything because everybody's style is different and because you don't have that person to talk to understand how they even got there. Right. So being the same color can happen, but not looking the same will drive you insane. It's like, well, but I did everything that I saw and all that. Might not work. You might not paint the same way.
But yeah, looking at stuff for inspiration is valuable for sure.
100%.
I've been starting to work on watercolor painting, and I look at all kinds of stuff online for that. Lil Billy said, speaking of inspiration, Chris is not here, and that inspires me to have a wonderful Friday.
I don't remember if I used royal purple after purple. We're going to try it. Royal purple and purple are not necessarily far, or the dark purple are not necessarily super far apart. So this might not off the brush give me what I remember the nights looking like, but we're going to try it.
SideQuest Kitchen said, "Yep, that's probably what happened. We went from Albuquerque to Vegas, and the paints exploded."
Yep, 100%.
Bald Man and Tadpole Jackson are both requesting now carbonated Procryl.
Yes, 100%.
No,
I'll get on that right away.
don't drink the paint.
I'll get on that right away. Call the lab and say, have you ever thought, hear me out, Slick Willie's, feta chili, and carbonated Procryl on the drink menu. Carbonated Procryl.
Mo, happy Friday.
Hey, Mo. Hey, Mo.
Photon Cosmonaut said, "I look for inspiration for painting on the internet, but end up buying cool models."
That's also a problem.
Hazard.
That's also why the internet is a horrible place. It makes you spend your money. Your wallet hates the internet, trust me. The only place you should be spending your money is monumenthobbies.com. Paid for by monumenthobbies.com.
We do give free pub to Monument Hobbies.
No free pub.
Free pub for Monument.
Oh, yeah.
One Wolf Paint said, "I have a folder on my Google Drive that has images of miniatures and from the world, as well as some macro photography for the block moments. Ton of color inspiration there." Yep.
Yeah, I have a folder on all of my computers, basically, that says color ideas. That's all it is. The folder is called, on every computer I own, which is one here and one at home. So 2. I'm like, wait, maybe all is not the right term. That's a little heavy. But on both of those computers, there is a folder called Color Ideas. And in it, I just will right-click Save As and put anything I see that's neat down. And I don't look at it very often, which is a mistake. I should look at it more often than I do. But when I go in and pull that folder open, I can sit there and stare at stuff for hours and be like, wow, I have this really cool archive of some stuff. Some of it's mine that I take pictures of that I'm like, I need to remember that. And then I forget how to do it, even though I threw it in the archive. And a lot of it is just random cool stuff I see. Some of it's textures that I see in photographs. Some of it is other people painting models. Some of it is, a lot of it is 2-dimensional artwork that I find. Frazetta, Vallejo, Boris, Vallejo, and that kind of stuff. So it's just all sorts of chances to grab artwork out in the world and throw it into the folder. And then that's a great place to go when you're finding yourself in that analysis paralysis of, I really want to paint this thing, but I don't have any idea what to do. Go look through that folder. Because you'll be like, oh, yeah. You'll spend so much time going, oh, yeah. I think that's a great thing that we kind of lose sight. We don't bring that up enough, is that if you create a amalgam of photos like that, then you can kind of dig yourself out of the hole quicker when you don't know what to do. Yeah. You get that artist block. Well, just go look at your folder.
Krieg said there's a 10-ton crane at work in the large machine shop that has a great worn hazard stripe pattern. I keep meaning to take a picture of for reference later. I'll have to post it on Discord when I do, but figure if coworkers see me do that, they actually know I'm nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay to be nuts.
You just tell them you're going to be an influencer.
We're all
Influencers
crazy.
can take pictures and videos of whatever they want now.
And dance and
be idiots.
Yeah,
just do a dance in front of it. That'll work.
You can be idiots in public. Nobody can tell you different.
Might be more accepted than saying I paint miniatures. We need to fix that. Tech Badger said, "I just started a short birthday vacation and really hoping I can use this time to catch up on some painting."
Awesome.
Got a
Happy
whole
birthday.
fleet waiting for me. Where are you going on vacation, Tech Badger? Penguin said, "Ever thought of adding protein to the paint? It's trendy to put it in all kinds of other edible things." Well, Procryl is not edible.
Well,
we don't need the paint.
Procryl has quinoa in it.
No, it does not.
Oh. I thought I added that in there.
Well, and Wad said protein-acryl.
Protein-acryl. That's our weathering line. Protein-acryl.
Painting board. I saw those yesterday at the grocery store. They weren't the Pop-Tarts brand, but they were shaped like a Pop-Tart, and they were in with all the protein bars. Protein Pop-Tarts. It said I'd rather eat Procryl. No. Still no. Creakin, today I celebrated Midsummer in Sweden, one of our biggest holidays.
Yep.
We gather around a giant pole, which, let's be honest, is basically a giant fertility symbol. Decorate it with flowers, dance in circles, and sing songs about frogs.
I love it.
The tradition is all about celebrating summer, fertility, and hoping for a great harvest. It sounds completely insane when you explain it in English, but after a few schnapps, it makes perfect sense.
We know
I think that sounds amazing.
They made a movie about it.
I would love to do that.
They made a horror movie about it, didn't they?
There is a movie called Midsummer, yes.
I think it's a horror movie.
I don't know.
Or
I think
like
it is like
psychological
a,
horror
yeah,
movie?
I think it's one of those, yeah.
Like one of those cultish,
Yeah,
campy things.
Like the one we saw. Can't remember the name of it. The Jordan Peele. Kind of that.
Get
vibe.
Out.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Ace MX87 said, I got your clippers and the quality is superb, but I would like to sharpen them. Any suggestions?
I mean, you can get a sharpening stone. It's always hard to do clippers that you can't take apart, right? Because we don't make them separable. And so that's always going to give you a little bit of problem in getting in there to make sure that you don't nick edges as you're sharpening. You might look online. I feel like at one point in my life, I know that there was a thing for sharpening dikes, wire cutting dikes. And I know that there was a tool that kind of has a way that you can open the jaws and get in there and grind it. I don't have a good answer for you. A manual sharpening stone would be your best bet, and you would just have to be very careful not to nick the opposite edge, because you'll be going the wrong direction and banging into the edge when you sharpen the one edge, because they're dual bladed.
Scorched Earth said, my other half introduced me to an awesome basing material, orchid bark, for potting orchids. She's not into the hobby, but she pointed some out and said, hey, that might be good for your bases. Sure love her. Aw, it is so great when your partner supports what you do, even if they're not part of it. I love that.
Yeah, we use the bark mulch,
Yep.
which I think is very similar. Those potting barks of all kinds are great. I think that as long as there's not enough like active biological components in it, that becomes a problem, because they will, even when you paint them, so you have to be careful of some garden products, because they will kind of moss over or deteriorate over time on the model. So that I've seen that happen.
Yeah, I don't want it to be moldy and actually
Yeah, you get mold.
grow real.
They get mold and it'll come through the paint and it'll ruin everything. So it's kind of a bummer. But yeah.
A lot of people ask if Jason bakes the bark mulch. It's not.
I do not bake the bark mulch.
Little Billy
I
got
cover
around.
it with our basing material,
Yeah.
or with a mix of like wood glue. I have some wood glue, and you take wood glue and water it down and put it over it. That'll also seal it. It's porous, so when you seal it, all that soaks into it and hopefully kills any badness. And I don't use the pieces that are pre-molded. There are some that you pull out and have like that white mushroom mold looking stuff on them. I throw those away.
Little Billy got around to playing with his new airbrush. It's so fun. Excited to expand my paint skills with a new tool. That's awesome. Tribe the Demon, did you not read the sign today that the Tau puns are not here today?
It's JUN. No Tau puns. Hallelujah.
That one's pretty good.
They're all good.
They're all good. Tau you doing?
Jen, Tau you doing?
Tau you doing?
Tau you doing?
Tau you doing?
No, Tau you doing?
Shadowcast said I used wet sandpaper and a file, I assume, to sharpen the clippers.
Yeah.
Big Bobzilla, hello. Tech Badger not going anywhere, just a staycation, but oh so necessary. Yes, it's important to take some time for yourself. Sidious, does Jason bake cookies? No. I mean, he could if he wanted to, but he does not.
Jen bakes amazing cookies,
I bake
so I don't have to. Everybody needs somebody that bakes cookies for
them.
If that's yourself, more power to you.
What happened to the Tau? He's taking the day off from Tau.
I'm just taking a little palette cleanser. Little palette cleanser here with a Crusader from Parabellum. from 100 Kingdoms and Conquest. Don't worry. We will be back. I like to switch it up a little bit because I never know when you guys and gals get tired of watching a particular thing. Some people don't. Some people are like, oh, where's the Tau? I really wanted to see you complete the Tau. And it'll be back. Don't worry. But I also get tired. Not tired, but I also get a little less than enthused to spend a bunch of time on stream because I really value the stream time we have and being able to talk about, and let you see new things, even if we're not necessarily focused on what I'm doing right now, being able to say, okay, I want to make sure that day to day we're not just doing the same repetitive thing. And the Tau, if nothing else, have proven that the goal with them is to make it repetitive, to make it to where the color scheme itself is repetitive so that you can do it quickly. The problem is it doesn't make for the best content, right? It's like, guess what we're doing today, chat? 5 million more miles of edge highlighting on another piece of Tau robot armor. So yeah, it gets a little boring.
Cleanser? Barely know her. Did I sound like Chris?
You know what? I think he'd be proud.
Oh, so I said taking a towelette cleaner. That sounds like a toilet cleaner to me.
Could you give me a towelette?
Does the thing you use to hold the model for painting have a name?
Cork.
It's a cork.
This is a cork. You can go and get a standard wine or jar cork. I generally find them at one of two places, a scientific tool supplier type place, because they do beaker corks, or a home brewing supply house. Amazon also sometimes has them. I will tell you that you're looking for corks in the size 22 and above for miniatures. I don't know what those sizes mean, but if you first go look at a cork sizing chart, Google cork sizing chart, and you will find that there are cork sizes that run from like 1 to, 100 or 1 to 50 or something like that. And the bigger the number, the bigger the cork. And these are, they don't come labeled, but I think these are maybe like 22s. And then we have bigger ones that are like 34s and 38s, and they can be short and wide or tall and narrow. So there's a ton of different kinds of corks. I recommend them highly.
Gork and Mork's Emporium of Corks.
I wish that was where I got my corks from. Make that company, I will buy all my cork from you. Which is not a whole lot because you reuse them, so you're not going to get rich selling cork, let me tell you. We've thought about putting cork handles on the site for a long time. It's just, it costs a lot to bring it over, and I'm not sold on the fact that we would make any money on it.
Kyle Davidson said, Jason gets a little towkered out.
Hey, whoa. I'm old, but I ain't that old.
Bald man, maybe. To be here for Halloween, find out.
You know what you have to say, Jen?
What?
Think about who you're talking to.
Oh. You're not bald. Right?
Yeah. Bald man. Bald man, you're not bald.
Bald man, you're not bald.
Okay, just got to make him feel at home. This is the thing, right? We gotta keep the comfort going. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel the same. It's like some reason being on Hyman on Friday just feels different.
He said, "Don't do it, no."
That's so good. Bald man, you're not bald. I just love the way Chris is always just so matter of fact and has it in. He has it loaded and in the magazine. Yeah. It's in the chamber with that when he's waiting. He gets certain people. He just knows from the time the stream starts exactly what he's about to say.
What's man said? I'm going to be bald before bald man. If he's heard that once, he's heard it 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. So apparently the Tau puns are here today.
Just not from our end.
Little Billy said, I have decided that NMM will be reserved for anything that is not part of army painting.
Yeah. No, that's a very valid
Yeah.
thing to say. You know, spending time at that level on, pieces that aren't really getting a ton of attention from you may not make the most sense. I like it to the point and have been doing it for so long that even my normal armies need it, but I'm not above painting, metallic to go quick. I do admittedly, when I paint metallic, say that I am not looking for this to look the same in quality as if I wanted it non-metallic, because you've heard me say a million times, in order for me to make metallic paint look the way I want it, it's faster for me to paint non-metallic.
Little Billy said, "Bald man, you will always be bald to me. Chris is a liar and a cheater. I don't trust him."
I don't either.
Bald man said, "Thank you. I posted a bald picture, and yet Chris continues to slander my name."
We have a good community. I don't know why you people put up with us, but
Yeah.
thank you. But thank you. Quick highlighting on the purples, and now we got to turn this orange yellow. Oh my god. So how do you turn orange yellow? You use orange yellow.
Now I'm going to paint your orange cloak yellow.
She just did that to us. Us. I'm going to make that an offense to the rest of us. Jen just 40-year-old virgined us, chat. That's what just happened. I just want you to know that. I just want you, for those of you that said, we're always Team Jen, yay! I just want you to think about this for a second, all right? Just 1 second. Just take a brief little simmer on that one. Laugh it up, fuzzball.
It's a great movie.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
He ended up making a bunch of money from his nerd hobby. So, Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Bald man, Little Billy, you guys are right there. Musty Bugbear, do you have any advice for getting over the frustration over paint quality while someone is in their earlier stages of learning how to paint? You mean like how well they paint?
Yeah. Are we talking about quality of the paint you're using, or quality of the paint you're providing
results,
that
yeah.
you're doing? I think the reality is, like we talked about before, don't let yourself fall into the comparison of your work versus what you're looking at on the internet. If you're a beginner, you still have a lot of time to figure out what your style is and what your form of good output is, and you'll only bog yourself down by comparing yourself to the other artists you see out there that maybe are inspiring you to paint in the first place. Use them as inspiration, like we just talked about.
Yeah,
a little bit ago.
Results, not the paint.
We
talked about this earlier.
Yeah, it's a common question, right? It's that as I start out, the internet has been such a brutal thing, because now when you jump into a hobby, you're going to very quickly get compelled to be part of a hobby because of all the great things you see, right? It's not always just because some friends, like back in my day, friends said, oh, let's play these games. They have miniatures. Let's all start painting miniatures. We all sucked, and we all had fun sucking together. There was no bar to raise to. It was just, oh, these things get painted. And there might be a picture in a magazine that you saw. And so you're like, let's start painting. And we all just sucked together and had fun. Nowadays, you might find it by falling into it on Instagram and seeing the latest Slayer Sword winner or the Monty Sansovino Grand Masters champion, and you're like, oh, I want to be part of that. Well, then you sit down, and while you're alone at your desk at your house, start painting a miniature and look at what you're doing and look at the screen and look what you're doing and look at the screen, and then put it all aside and be like, I'll never paint like that. It's almost too easy to say, I'll never be that good, because there's so much flood of information. And of course, the people that you're getting the most information for, that are getting the most clicks on the internet, are really good things, right? You're not seeing the people who paint like you. That's why I think painting at your community night at your store can be great, because now you're relating to other people as they progress. That's a great story. Or being able to separate in your mind as you're painting that that's my goal. This is where I'm at. What do I need to do to find out how to get from where I'm at to there? And let me focus on that. Don't focus on whether or not your stuff looks like your goal. because that'll just stifle your entire creative.
Scorched earth. I was going to say the exact same thing. Comparison is the thief of joy.
100%.
You
Can
think
only
about,
compare your work to your last work. Your current
Yeah.
work to your last is what I always say. The piece that I'm working on is never really going to get compared to anything, because I'm like, what does that do for me? Nothing. I will make the determination if I'm thinking it's good enough, and if it's not, I'll stop what I'm doing and change course to get it where I want.
The miniature side of social media is exactly the same as every other part of social media. You have to remember too that people are only posting their best.
Yep.
They're posting the ideal. And that doesn't mean that that's their real life all the time.
It's funny because I will post my updates and people will comment and say, hey, why wouldn't you take better pictures of your stuff? I'm like, because this is real world. This is it, warts and all. I'm showing it the way it is. We don't do any filtering here on the stream. You're seeing exactly what's happening because the process is something you have to trust. And there's a lot of ways that I paint where the process itself goes through some really weird stages before it turns into what you want it to be. And I want people to see that because that part of the journey can be very scary, right? You can be stuck in a situation where you're like, oh my God, like right now I'm trying to do the thing you're talking about, but oh my God, it looks like crap. What am I doing wrong? Like, you're not doing anything wrong. Just keep working to the next step. Have patience. Know that, again, you can fix anything because it's not brain surgery. There's not a body open on the surgical table that, can bleed out. If you don't like where you're at, put aside or change course.
And, some free pub for our stream. You guys get to see Jason's almost entire process on almost everything he does, right? So you can see it step by step and you can learn along with it. And it's not just, what a miniature looks like before it's painted, and then someone posts their finished, piece on the internet.
It's always funny to me.
How do I get there?
Some people will comment on our stuff when we go through the process of, you just finished the damn out, and I'm like, never in the history of Monument Hobbies. If you see a step by step from us, we show you the real deal.
Yeah,
we're not trying to pull one over on you and say, yeah, we're hiding all the techniques and all the finished stuff. Nah, we leave that to all the other artists out there.
Bud said with Chris, it feels like a family reunion, and that annoying cousin. With Jen, it feels like home. Thank you, Bud. How have you been? Any good shows this weekend?
For Bud? Is that Bud?
Bud, yeah. Wise Wolf said that's why I started hosting a painting night with my dad, friend, and my kid. No internet to compare, just hanging out and painting.
Good. Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
But you can also have great painting sessions just by yourself.
Yeah.
I do it all the time, and just a good book or music, tunes, something, and just sit down and go. But again, you have to remember, like for me, I'm not comparing anything I do to anything out on the internet. What I'm doing is comparing it to the idea I had in my head.
Yeah.
And I can still get bogged down by that because in my head I could have something that works. And then when I sit down at the table, it's like, that didn't work as well as I thought it would.
Yeah, I've gotten frustrated with that.
Oh, yeah, and you get with your bear. You got frustrated with your bear.
Yeah.
She sculpted a little bear and she wanted to do this tie-dye hoodie on him and all that stuff, and she got frustrated and hadn't gone back to it.
I haven't touched it.
But the easy thing, and that can happen, but the easy thing is I always try to say, but I still want to hit the goal.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid of priming over it and just doing it again, right?
Somebody had, right here it is. Snow Blinky wants to know if all the primers can be used with a brush or only the brush on.
All the primers can be used with a brush. The brush on primer is built to work with a brush, so it will work better off of the brush from your first brush stroke. The other primers will tend to be a little bit more milky is the only thing I can say. You'll be able to see through them a little bit weird at the beginning because they're made for airbrush, so they're thinner in their viscosity. And so painting with a brush will take more coats. But yeah, you can definitely use the airbrush primers with the brush. There's nothing that will perform irregularly other than, like I said, that first coat or so will look a little funky. So as long as your mind is tuned right, and you're like, oh God, this isn't working. We'll have some people that'll use it and be like, I don't think I'm doing this right. And we're like, nope, you're doing it right. Just the next coat will start to make sense. And then they go and trust the process and it works.
Frigid Phoenix said I started using Jason and a few others as inspiration and started comparing to last year when I truly dove into this hobby and what it has done for me. Going back, making 1 year ago miniatures better with what I have learned, except one, to always remember where I started. Yeah, if you have the first miniature you painted, keep it.
100%.
And don't redo it. And use that.
I'm very jealous of everybody that has their first miniature to look back on.
But I've only been doing it for like 6 years, not 40 like Jason.
Yeah, my first miniature, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Somewhere I always say I have, or I thought I had, and I probably threw it away because there's been a lot of points in my life where I'm like, I'm not very sentimental. So a lot of parts in my life I've been like, oh no, I won't ever need that again. Because my first miniature that I won my first contest with was a Battletech miniature, and I had it for all the way up until I moved here. I know. So it's either in storage or I threw it away when I left that place over on 31st Ave.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's a shame. Because there was a case that had that lance of metal Ral Partha miniatures, and the Battlemaster was in it. I would love to show that to you guys, to show you where, you know, my first prize-winning model, you would laugh at. Because it's not even anywhere near good.
Maybe we should drive out and see if it's out there.
Yeah, we need to end that thing anyway.
I know.
Go rent a van and throw all that stuff away.
Spatsnat said, yeah, we know what a shoulder pad looks like when it's glued on upside down.
Hey, you.
But that's real life.
Yeah. We don't hide behind anything here.
Frigid Phoenix wants to know if transparent black would be a good option to lay over dark purple for the corrugated portions of a Space Marine's legs, or just paint coal black over the dark purple.
Okay. Where was that?
I can find it. I used the other one because it was right here.
Transparent black to go over dark purple for the corrugated portion of a Space Marine's legs, or just paint coal black over the dark purple. Yeah, dark purple primer. Transparent black could be cool over it if you thin it down so that some of the purple shows through. That could give it a really good chromatic black, which I love for that. I typically go Payne's Gray and highlight them back up, but I think that could work. I like this yellow with just the burnt orange and the orange yellow over it. That's a good combo.
This is just burnt orange and orange yellow?
This is just orange yellow over the burnt orange.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm kind of semi-glazing the orange yellow so that I can get that layered look to build up more.
C-Mac wants to know if you're going to use a regular yellow on top of this or glazing it with the transparent.
I'll use, my idea is to use a regular yellow over the top of it and not transparent. You could definitely use a transparent yellow. Transparent yellow over other yellows will just alter the hue of the yellow. So you have to think of that. Like, am I wanting to just make this more punchy yellow? Then I would use a non-transparent. If I wanted to change, if I like this, but I want the yellow to be, you know, a little bit cooler, then I could use the transparent yellow, but it would just influence these colors I already have. So my thought is that I'll probably move to warm yellow over this, and warm yellow, because all of this is already so warm with the orange, it sounds funny to use warm yellow to cool it off, but warm yellow will actually cool this yellow off because I'm letting so much of that orange show through. And our orange yellow is just a great yellow in this regard, right? So this gives me a good way to build up that yellow to offset the purple. The nice thing with purple and yellow, it's the LA Lakers colors, and it works really well. They're great complements to one another, and you can do it in a way that doesn't feel basketball team if you're careful. But I'm going to do it in a very desaturated way and then come back and make them dirtier like they've been through hell at the end.
Joshua Lee said, sad my LGS doesn't have a hobby night. Do they have a place where you could just go and paint? Because you could start your own.
We did that
show
here.
up and just paint.
We did that here.
And then maybe people will join in.
We had a store that didn't have a hobby area, but they would set out some folding tables.
Yeah.
And I would go out there on Mondays.
Yep.
We would go.
It was Monday.
Yeah, we started going out on Mondays, Jen and I.
And
we would sit and paint.
When we moved, I stopped going, but you still went.
Yeah.
Usually. I only went once in a while.
And it was great because then people would come in the middle of the day. I would go there at the middle of the day.
Like 2, he would go there.
Yeah, like 2 in the afternoon.
And then stay
and people, as they're getting
dinner.
off work early, that worked from, you know, the wee hours in the morning in construction or whatever, would come by the shop over there. and I'd be sitting there painting, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna run home and grab my stuff," and they wouldn't. They'd come back and paint, and that was a lot of fun. We had a blast, and they didn't really have a paint night. But as we kept doing that, even the owner started coming and hanging out and paint. He's like, "Are you going to be here next week?" And he'd bring it. I got an orc army, and I want to talk to you about it. I'm like, "Yeah, sure, bring it. We'll talk." And so we would go and paint too. But I had to start it in the store, and then the owner got behind it. Yeah. I don't know that they ever did anything with it that made it into a true paint night, but they would have that area open all the time. You didn't have to ask them to put the tables out. They would just leave the tables out, and then you could go and paint at your leisure. And a lot of people would jump in and do that. And they probably sold more paint because of it, had more community members enjoying painting because of it. It's just a great way to work.
Belial said, I am working on acquiring the $1.2 million for you to make Payne Spray primer. Do I just mail it to you at the Monument Hobbies address? I would prefer
in small bills.
What I was going to say, I would prefer, yes, definitely small bills in a briefcase, hand delivered. You have to have the briefcase handcuffed to yourself so no one steals it, and then deliver it to us.
Oh no, we need to set up a drop at a trash bag or trash
we
can
could meet
someplace.
out. Yes,
we need to meet at a trash can.
We have an exchange location
on a sketchy street corner. Yeah. Under a street lamp in the middle of the night. That's what we need.
Retroflow said, one of the hardest things for me when it comes to contrast paint is finding proper highlighting colors. Are there any tips on how to approach this with one-step paints?
With one-step, you mix in a bright color, even something as simple as white, into one-step. The nice thing is that with our paints, they're built to blend with our normal line. So when you've seen me use one-step on the stream, or if you're new here and you haven't watched, the one-step, when I get done putting it on, like let's say I pick a color that you like out of the one-step, when I'm done doing the one-step, I just then mix in a bright color to one-step, and I get my highlight. And that way it keeps it right on hue. It works the way you expect it to. If you zenithal your model with white and black, then use white to mix in with your one-step color. That way it'll stay exactly like you expect it to be, because, you know, the color of one-step when you put it over your base coat will be a little bit different than it is right out of the bottle. But yeah, that's the way that works. It's super simple. That was one of my goals with it, to make it to where it's really easy to highlight and to shade. So if you need to make a shadow color out of it, you can add a dark color into it too. Super easy.
Belial said it's Zimbabwean dollars, but I'm down for this. When I get it, I'll reach out to set that up. Okay, so
wait a minute. It's not Nigerian Prince dollars. It's Zimbabwean dollars.
We have a 3% conversion fee, so make sure you add that in.
Those Nigerian Prince dollars I'm familiar with. Zimbabwean dollars, we gotta think about the exchange rate there.
Lil Billy wants to know if you thin down one step before airbrushing it.
You can, yeah. I've done both. Just depends on how you want the outcome to be. If you want more intense coloring, then you don't have to thin it. Usually what you've seen me be doing, like on all of the towel models, is that I've been thinning it 50-50 so that it lets the color that we're spraying it over show through. So, you know, I want less intensity of color, so I thin it more.
Joshua Lee wants to know why the base set doesn't include a primer. Our intro set does.
Yeah, the base set is just an introduction to our colors,
it's really
and
just
to the line.
First colors that we released.
And it was the first set that we ever did. We didn't have a brush on primer at the time, so that evolved out of the want to do something that, you know, allowed you to prime easier on the go when you're at a convention and stuff. And so we put it into the intro set that has brushes and such.
Yeah, and it's not the base set itself is not meant to necessarily be like a start painting set. That's what the intro set does. Non-metallic meatball said, thinking of your Tau, how would the process of painting tattoos on blue skin be different from painting on traditional skin tones? A Tau-2, if you will.
I mean, not too dramatically different, other than the fact that, like, you know, like on African skin tones or Middle Eastern skin tones, the tattoos are not going to be as visible. You know, color. If you're going to use a sense of realism to it, then you're going to assume that the darkness of the skin, whether blue or black or brown or whatever color, is going to impede the opacity of any ink that's done as a tattoo. And so by doing that, you're going to paint it in a much more desaturated method. You could still use black and then glaze the blue skin tone back over it if you wanted to. That would be the way I would approach it. Or if you want it to be more vivid, and your story is that the Tau have some magical tattoo ink that lets it show through, then feel free. It's your story to tell. But I don't think you do it any differently. It's just you have to be ready for the outcome, and the outcome is that when you do a darker, more opaque skin tone like blues or blacks, then when you go and put the tattoo on it, gives your painting over and then glaze back over it, it's not going to be very vibrant. Because it's not against, there's no contrast. On Caucasian skin, there's more contrast between the black tattoo and the white skin. It's not white, but you get my drift, right? The paler skin color, that's going to give you that contrast. So that's just something you have to ready yourself for. Because on the Tau blue skin, you could do it very light Tau blue skin, and then the tattoo would stand out more, right? But like on my guys, I couldn't really get a tattoo to stand out on these guys, right? Not very much. By the time you do it, it would look like it was painted on. It wouldn't feel like a tattoo. Right, just because the skin is it's saturated, but it's very bright.
It is not a Phoenix Suns night. It's going to be yellow, I think he said, so it'll be more like the Lakers. It does currently look like Phoenix Suns.
Or are they more orange?
They're orange.
And purple?
Orange and purple.
Oh, they are. Yeah. I should know this. This is my home team.
Robert V is on the edge of his seat wondering what's going to happen with the chainmail.
Probably my standard. Painted. All the metal will be my standard, like Payne's gray, white, blue. I think I could do it just in grays, but he's got this big bucket helmet that I'm interested in doing in Payne's gray steel, my non-metallic steel workup. I'm not afraid of texture on the shield. Even if it's metal, I can assume it has a grain to it that I can play with here. So doing wispy brush strokes from dark to light helps me set a texture into it. So notice how all my brush strokes go from the bottom of the shield to the top, because the top is the brighter area, right? But starting with a very light brush stroke down low, make certain that I get that blend going. And then heavier brush strokes up top where I want to have more paint left off, and then just use that wispy brush stroke to kind of extend it down in, and use the brush stroke itself to do the blend. Looking pretty good. I used the yellow much more thin over a big flat surface like that than I have been on the folds for the first pass. The reason for that is that obviously you're creating a lot of contrast on a flat surface, and it can look really messy if you're not careful. So thin more when painting something like the shape of this shield on the first pass, then go to a more opaque version of the color like we talk about, to come back in and get the saturation I want for the yellow. So here is less thinning, and then I can kind of backfill when I already have the initial transition set up to start brightening it up. And if we pop in close here, nope. Oh no, that's like this. Don't.
You're doing my job.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to it, but he gave me a button pad. So, right, you can see how sloppy my texture is, but it also gives me the ability to create the idea of a more beaten shield, right? And I'll try to do a similar texture on the yellow side that I've done to the purple, so that some of those are more visible in there. right? You can see the same texture on the purple side, and that sets up the idea of it being a little bit more beaten. But you can punch out now.
I will.
Damn it.
Jeff Brando said, I'm trying my hardest to imitate your Tau black armor scheme. I've watched your video on the brush stroke for the edging of the light blue. Thanks for the lessons. I am nowhere near as good.
Awesome. No, it's just practice, right?
Inspiration, not comparison.
Yep, it's just practice. And on the stuff like edge highlighting, it's all about brush pressure, right? It's all about just making sure that you just use a light pressure to keep your line thin as you're going around an edge. And then you'll learn, the complexities of then, pressing harder when you get to the end of the line or the beginning of the line, depending on where you want it to be brighter or darker. And that'll give you a lot of that blended look that I strive for, especially on things like the Tau, where I'm trying to work faster and don't want to waste a lot of time with a bunch of different colors and such. And never be afraid to stop what you're doing and reload the brush. I can't emphasize that enough. That one of the biggest things I see people commit a mistake with is acting like they have to continue painting with the paint on the brush until the paint is gone, like it's some conservation project, right? Don't do that to yourself. If your brush is not being able to deliver your expectation, whether it's a thin line or a thick line, stop, go back and rinse your brush real quick, and then put more paint on your brush. Because if you force it, you'll never be happy, right? If you sit there and say, okay, this isn't doing a thin line, so I'm just going to push harder. Well, pushing harder makes a thick line, doesn't make a thin line. So stop. Don't fight the brush. The brush will tell you what you need to be doing, because the brush is a simple machine. It doesn't like break down halfway through a line. It just runs out of paint, right? Or it starts to split because you've been painting with it too much. And so just go back and rinse. So your eye and your hand have to be in perfect concert as you start learning to paint better, to recognize very quickly when the thing you're doing isn't delivering your expectations. Stop what you're doing. And most times don't even think about it. Just go clean the brush, put more paint on the brush, and pick up where you left off. If you can tune your brain to doing that process, recognize what I expect to happen, or have, this is what I'm expecting to happen. Recognize when it is and isn't. When it is, keep doing it. When it isn't, stop. Seems simple, seems like a very duh moment, but that is not a duh thing. And I see more people fail because they push the brush further because they know there's still paint on it. I can see there's still paint on it, but it's not flowing off the tip properly because you're doing fine detail. And maybe you've been doing it for a while, and so the paint that's in the belly isn't going to flow out the belly into the tip the same way the longer you use the brush. The tip just runs out of steam. And so instead of pushing harder and then you get a thick line, and then you're like, well, now my edge highlight doesn't look the way I want it. And we all fall victim to it. I do too, because I get lazier. I'm sitting here talking, and instead of going to rinse in the brush, I just keep pushing it, and it doesn't work all the time. So,
hello, Billy. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Leaving us already.
Yeah.
Switch over to some faded plum. Your lines are thick, boys. Stop pressing so hard. Stop pressing so hard. Yeah, it's one of the most difficult things to learn is that portion of brush control, which is just the weight of hand needed to pull off the thing that you're trying to do, right? Like right now, I'm just it's basically sketching with the tip of the brush. So if I press too hard, my lines are going to be really thick, and they're going to overdo it and give me too much color. And so I just really want that fine, wispy hair to be touching, right? And if your eyes aren't good enough to see when it's touching or not, get yourself a pair of glasses, right? Keep adding up towards where my light source is, but then go back down to that wispy brush stroke as I fade down. Hit a little peak of brightness on some of those. Boom. And now it starts giving me a worn punch in super close on that. So you can see the kind of brush strokes I'm doing there. Just very thin. And that starts giving me my maybe final highlight. I don't know how bright I'm going with this guy, but
Snow Blinky wants to know what brush you're using.
This is a Pro Sable number 4.
Sable 4.
And you'll see, like everything, right? This is kind of that point where the least amount of paint does the most amount of work. You really start getting the feel of the entire tunic skirt area here as I put these highlights on there. And that texture that I'm adding in helps to deliver the feeling of use, you know, not quite beat up, but worn.
Oh
And
no.
then just maintain it to a point where you're not overdoing it, right? I don't want to make these so bright that it takes over the midtones. I just want brightness where it's supposed to go. And even though it may look really good, don't get carried away. Just put a little, because a little bit does a lot of work like that. See?
Josh Willie said, I broke my right hand. Painting has been a wonderful challenge.
Oh, no.
I assume you're right-handed. Can't do a miniature, but I am enjoying slapping colors on an artist easel.
Oh, no.
Like a canvas. Big abstract painting with your opposite hand, your non-dominant hand.
The stranger.
That sounds fun. Train that left hand.
Scorched Earth, make what look so easy? Again, I'm offloading a lot of the paint from my brush on my hand to make sure that those clean, wispy strokes don't deliver too much paint. Another place that people mess up a lot is that you go in and you have so much paint on the brush that no matter how light you press, you're not going to get a thin enough brush stroke to really do what I'm doing right here. So you got to be careful, right?
Rich Slocum just started using our paints and said, love them. Awesome.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much. And you're in the right place, Rich, for some good demos of what it can do.
Do this. We show you live. No filter, no crazy editing. You get what you get.
I don't want to touch it.
You're fine.
Okay.
It's like set to where it's pretty close to the table, and I'm lifting it up, so every now and then it'll kind of lose a little bit.
Oaken Fury wants to know what colors are in One Step Set 2.
Bronze yellow. Kind of it's a bronzy yellow, right? It's an orangey brownish yellow.
That's the
yellow.
beauty of our paint names.
It's a bronze
what you
yellow.
see is what you get.
Olive yellow. It's a greeny browny yellow. The two of those I think are fantastic. They are amazing for gross background for skelly bones and things like that. Dark brown. Black. Just true black. Black. We are calling bright slate gray, it's the background for white. So that's dry brushed with a little white over it. This is it with no dry brushing of white. But it's a great foundation for doing white. But it is a bright slate gray. Has just a little bit of that bluish to it. Of course, dark purple. Dark turquoise.
That one.
Dark turquoise is super good. Deep blue. Deep blue is Prussian blue from our expert acrylic line, but because it gets brighter when you use it like One Step, we opted to call it deep blue because the Prussian blue, if you think about it, Prussian blue out of the expert line is a lot darker. And it's exactly the same. It's just the way you use it here, it'll be brighter every time you use it. So I opted not to call it Prussian blue, but it is the same as Prussian blue.
Can you show the black again? For Tancred. The black.
And these are unthin. This is like literally slopping out doing color tests. So Scarlet Red.
Ooh.
The Scarlet Red's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do Blood Angels? I got you. Right? It's just, they're just done. Right? Scarlet Red, not a color in the main line. Yellow Green. This is a really hard one because it's brighter than Yellow Green, but not as bright as Bright Yellow Green. So it's right in between Yellow Green and Bright Yellow Green. I opted to call it Yellow Green. You're just going to have to deal with the fact that it's a little bit brighter. There's no way I could call it anything else. It wound up being into a world of things like lime and colors that didn't make any sense, and it's not
green.
Really. So it's called Yellow Green. It's brighter than Yellow Green, right? But it is a fantastic. It's basically Goblin Green. So want to do goblins and orcs? It's fantastic.
Yellower green.
And then dark green blue.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, this is like dark sea bed, but dark green blue, and it is fan-freaking-tastic. Right? Had I had it to do all over again, I would have done my Tau in this, just natively. But we're a little bit lighter, a little bit more desaturated and military style looking. But this would have been a great color for my Tau. And rust. That makes 12. The rust that was released at Adepticon will be in set 2. I really like this purple.
Yeah, that looks good. But I do like purple in general.
Oh, I'm a big fan of purple. I don't paint much, but when I do, I love it. Every single time I paint with purple, I'm like, oh, I should paint more purple stuff. The problem is that you can't paint so much stuff purple because it's one of those colors that fatigues you quickly when it's in mass. Oh. Right? Uh-huh. So that's why I'm doing it with the yellow on here. Okay? So you can punch one out. Yeah.
Double T, do you mean like how we had the rest available at Adepticon? Is that what you're asking? If there's one for Gen Con as well?
No.
No.
Not a special. Is that what you're asking? No.
Yeah. It said, is there a special
there may
Gen
be
Con
a
color?
Wizard's
And
Butt.
I'm assuming that it meant, that question meant, would it be like the rust at Adepticon? Oh, Wizard's Butt.
Yeah, we may have a Wizard's Butt at Gen Con. That's a Gabe question. Gabe's off today, so.
I thought he said purple, which sounds like an amazing color.
Purple. I love purple. Feel like I did that too thin and I didn't get anything out of it, so I'm going to go back and a little more opacity on it this time.
Fuzzsaw said, I'm painting my first Imperial Guard plasma gun. What color do you want it?
Do I want it? What color do you want it?
Besides blue.
Oh.
Said that's my Marines.
Oh. I'm a big fan of bright greens, right? Like that Witchfire green, bright yellow greenish.
That'd be cool with blue.
Is really cool. Blue is always my first choice. That's what I'll be doing my Tau with is like a bright skyish blue, electric blue kind of a vibe to it. But if you've already done blue and don't want to do it again, then yeah, I think greens look great. Yellows and orange. What color is the base color for your guard army? Like what color are their fatigues and such?
Droth Vader said, how do I get your primers to stick to bases? It sits on the model grate, but just wipes off on the bases.
Like the edge of the base?
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, when you handle it, it will. Just go ahead and brush it on at the end when you're done. Like every model that I paint during the course of painting as I'm grabbing it, I'll rub it off. Just my hand oils and stuff will rub it off. It's a flat surface with nothing to grab, so the edge and sharp corners.
Oh, don't thin the primer.
Huh? Yeah, don't thin it.
Don't thin the primer.
Yeah, don't thin the primer. But it'll rub off. I mean, every model that I paint, I basically rub the paint off, and then at the end, I just paint it over. I don't even care. That's happened my entire life. Enamels, whatever, it doesn't matter. I rub it off. Spray paint, it doesn't matter. You're going to rub it off if you're touching the base.
Oh, Wizard's Butt is a batch. No, we don't make it as it's ordered. 4-day work week has been great for us, Joshua Lee. There was a little adjustment period for a few people, but they seem to be pretty happy with it. We've hired some new people since we've implemented that, and they love it.
Yeah, the people that come on board and that's all they know.
Yeah.
It's a great sell feature. For the people that have been here a long time and it hasn't always been the way it was, it's a learning curve, right? Because
it's interrupted. By this point, they're all used to it now. Oh, and Fuzz said camo green armor and tan fatigues.
Yellowy oranges could be cool. There we go.
You have to thin it. It won't come out of the brush undiluted.
You need to clean your brush, or maybe what size needle are you using?
Yeah. Our primer should not be thinned.
As soon as you thin a primer, you lose the adhesion that you need out of it. You start turning it into just a color of paint, which is not horrible, but you want to get the adhesion, because that's what you're using it for. Is if you're using a color primer to get the color out of it, that's one thing, but the adhesion layer is really what you want, is so that it gives a good tooth for the rest of your colors to stick to.
So I said, cool, that's what I was thinking, but thought it'd be fun to have Jason's choice on the army.
Thinking what? Like yellow orange?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be great with green fatigues. Obviously you don't want to do green if your army's green. Although I did like a yellowish green on my Dark Angels, but they were more of like a black green color, not bright green.
Roth said, I think it's a 0.5 needle.
0.5 is huge. Yeah, you need to clean the nozzle out. And you may think you've cleaned, but over time what'll happen is the inside of the nozzle will start to skin over, and it will build up. It will shrink the aperture down, even if it feels like you rinse it out and nothing comes out. You need to like scrub that needle or soak it or put it in an agitator or something like that. If our primer isn't flowing through your airbrush needs to be cleaned. It's just that simple. Like our stuff literally is, I would say 99.9% of the time, the right viscosity. You can have it thicken up over time. So if it's an old primer, if you left it open or something like that, it can thicken up, and then you can dilute it. But typically you don't have to do anything like that. All right, where's warm yellow? Boom. I think warm yellow is the choice. On the airbrush painted nights, I didn't have to do the orange yellow portion of this because when you do warm yellow over the orange base, you get it, right? The airbrush makes that color. It blends that color for you. And then so I would just go straight to warm yellow over the orange. But when brush painting, you don't get that same thing unless you wet blend. So taking the time to do that in between step helps, I think, to keep it in line with some of the airbrush colors that might be on the other nights. I won't know until I compare this to the models that aren't here. They're at home. So it's always great.
Droth said, should I just back the needle out more? I scrub my brush every session and every hour.
Backing your needle out won't, that'll open the aperture, but if you're having to do that, again, I would, I know you say you're cleaning it, but yeah, I always hate this because I don't want to sound like it that you need to do it different. You can try backing the needle out, but every time I do that and it works, if it makes it flow better, it's because I know I need to clean the brush. It's just one of those things, right? If you've got a backup, no matter how much you clean, you're not going to get rid of it until you go in and like deep clean it. When you say you scrub it, that's good, but I don't know what that means.
Well, and it says it's a cheap airbrush.
Well, yeah,
that could be it too.
Are the needle and nozzle matched correctly? Do you know? Either way, it should spray fine. Those are just questions I always ask, but yeah, we spray it with a 0.3 needle. I don't ever use a 0.5. We use a 0.3 needle here, and we'll spray our primer unthinned from the get-go in the desert.
Forever.
In the desert, yeah. Where it's super dry. If there was
ever on the bottle, don't thin it.
If there was ever a condition where you would think you needed to thin your primer, it would be Arizona, and we never thin it.
Rich Slocum wants to know the difference between the brush on and the standard airbrush primers.
Thicker. Just more viscosity to the brush on, so it helps it give you opacity quicker off the brush. The airbrush has a lower viscosity so that it flows better through the airbrush. And so when you use it with the brush, it won't be as opaque on your first layer.
In the desert, on a horse with no name. Yes. Boxing Ogre said, anyone else hate the little golf divot in the middle of bases like this particular model has?
Yep. It's pain, right? I mean, once you put your basing material on it, it's not a deal. But visually, it's annoying. It's from the mold process, right?
Hey, so C-Max said, but it's a dry 120 degrees. Gabe learned.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Gabe was in Costa Rica.
Yeah, he's in Costa Rica in the jungle.
They were building houses, and he talked about how humid it was, and he's like, now I understand what people say when they say it's a dry heat.
I thought it was so funny that he had never been to a place where that kind of humidity existed, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. Yeah, like just growing up in Texas and going to Louisiana or going to Florida and Miami, it's like, oh, it's a difference, dude.
Oh my gosh,
it can be suffocating when you have that humidity. It makes it hard to breathe.
That first summer that I traveled for work, and I went to like Oklahoma and Louisiana, and oh my gosh, it was miserable. And I had forgotten, because I was born in Minnesota and I lived there for like the first 9 years of my life. So I know humidity, but oh my gosh, it is such a big difference.
It's brutal.
Power123 said, just got my big order in the other day. Everything was perfect. I love the fact that they complement my existing Vallejo paints instead of a 1-to-1 replacement. Your colors are perfectly unique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny. We get gripes and kudos because I don't make our range with any other manufacturer in mind. You know, we don't make colors that match GW as much as people wish we did sometimes. You know, it's just a choice that we make with giving you colors that are more in frame of being artistic choices that allow you to blend very easily to get exactly the color you need all the time. But it's not always going to be, you know, a 1-to-1. So I'm glad that tracks for you and that you're liking it. The hardest thing when doing a bisected color scheme is the point where the highlights transition, because you need to make sure that highlight goes through, because it's not the purple that's highlighting or the yellow that's highlighting, it's the clothes that are highlighting. So I'll show you a trick that I'm going to use on these, where the final highlight will be the same color that I bridge between those colors very thin, which will be, in this case, pale yellow. I'll stretch the pale yellow into the purple and the yellow at the same time and use it very thin so that it keeps the highlight acting like it's the sheen of the cloth, not the color of the cloth that's highlighting.
Interesting.
Because you can wind up with seeing this and being where there's an imbalance in brightness between the two if you're not careful, and that makes it look funky. So I tend to say the easy way to fix that is to use your final highlight color, pick one that is complementary to both the colors you've bisected it with, and in this case pale yellow will work great over the purple and the yellow. You could do like a bright ivory too, probably. It's a little more neutral but more towards a white.
Scorched Earth. Have a great weekend. 3:45.
3:45?
Yeah.
It's almost old people dinner time.
Almost old people dinner time.
I laugh because when we go out to dinner after the stream, the only other people in there are blue hair old ladies. It's so funny. I'm like, we're not really this old. But we are. We get, oh, you don't. I get $1 off at Denny's. I'm a protected class.
You can live in a retirement community.
I could. It's really bad, isn't it?
I haven't figured out where we're going. You just went to the brewery, right?
Fate Brewing, yeah. It was good though. I'd go back. You know what I had? I had a brat burger.
Oh.
It's the sausage and beef. They grind up a brat and put it in the beef patty, and it's really good.
That sounds good.
It's really good.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, what is the brat burger? I was like, is it beef and the sausage from the brat? And she's like, yes. And I was like, I would like to try that.
Queso.
I do not want whatever sriracha nonsense they brought with it. And she left it off, and it was delicious. I really had it was a good burger. Just a little light glaze of the yellow there. I really like the transition here, so that's looking good. I think when we get a little bit of the pale yellow on there, it's really going to bring it home.
GK model said it's compared to here that is 0:45 vampire time.
No better time to go eat dinner.
I had to step away for a moment and walked into Bratburger, and that sounds amazing.
It was really good. I was like, please tell me
Well,
this is
alright.
both beef and brat and not just like a sausage on a bun.
Yeah, that's what I was
And she's like, no, it's
imagining.
beef. It's the beef and the ground up brat in the
Nice.
beef. And I was like, winner, let me try. And it was good, really good. And they have tots. So
They do have tots.
you got a
yes.
brat burger with tots. And that was delicious.
They have tachos too.
Do they?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't remember that.
we got them when we went there with your mom.
Yeah, that's right.
Jason, the Masters compressor you own, is it a Cool Runner?
You're asking me questions I don't have a good answer for.
Is that the one at home?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
it's $150 with a brush. I don't know. It's been great
Did
for
you
me.
get it on Amazon?
Yeah.
I can look.
$150. Oh yeah, she can. She can check our Amazon purchases.
It's not all in the spot.
Yeah, probably. Or just airbrush.
Cool Runner 2.
Cool Runner 2. Cool Running. I remember that. Isn't that the Jamaican bobsled team? Cool Running. I like that. That's looking good.
Yeah,
Let's do the pale yellow. And we didn't get the model done, but I got a lot done.
Oh.
Pale yellow. Pale yellow will bridge the gap between the purple, believe it or not. We won't go real bright pale yellow on the purple. We'll do a thin line, but it will tie it together. So
Cool Runnings was a good movie. I haven't seen it probably since it was in the movie theaters.
it's like the 80s, right?
Yeah. You know what I want to watch?
What?
All the Toy Story movies.
Oh gosh,
There's
aren't
all
they
this-
coming out with another one?
Yes, there's a new
I
one.
read a thing
that
about
came
how
out
they told
today.
Tim Allen his voice was too old and he had to go through an actual training that they did to train his voice to sound like it was earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said his voice was too old and he was
Huh.
afraid he was going to lose the deal for Buzz Lightyear.
Zamian said, do I need a special compressor to airbrush? I have a compressor with a tank at home already.
No,
No.
you can use, if you have a shop compressor, you can use that. We did for years. Technically, we still use. We use a compressor that is built for finish work in construction.
Harbor Freight, right?
Huh? What's that?
Was it from Harbor Freight?
We
compressor?
may have had one from Harbor Freight at one time. The one that we're using
the
right now
old
is
one
from
at home?
California Air Compressor.
Oh, okay. The one at home that you used to have, I think.
No, I think it was a
I don't
Lowe's. It's a
know.
Husky.
Oh, I don't know. I thought we got one from Harbor Freight.
No, I think we may have looked and we didn't get one there. Just very lightly. We're not trying to overdo the highlights here. These are very wispy brush strokes. They're just giving enough of a punch to some of the areas so you get a little bit of highlight. Don't want a lot of water on your brush, just enough to keep it flowing. You can see the opacity is, medium, I would say. And then this just gives us the ability to lighten an area very slightly.
Frigid Phoenix, enjoy that long trek up to Gamers Guild.
Oh, yeah. It's like right down the street, isn't it?
Frigid Phoenix, I think, lives in Mesa.
Oh. Yeah, that's longer
Yeah.
than right down the street.
What do you do on a long car ride? Yeah, East Mesa, about an hour. What do you do on a long car ride? Do you listen to music and sing? Do you listen to a podcast, an audiobook? Chessboxing Ogre, there's just an event, I think, at the North one tonight that they're doing. It's some War Machine thing.
Not really an event. My buddy Chris Zabrowski has said that he would sit with Jordan and I and teach us Mark IV.
Oh.
So I've said we'll be there. And if people want to come hang out, then come hang out. It's nothing special.
Listen to music and sing, get bored, hate my voice, so podcast and audiobook, then back to music when the book gets you sleepy. Yeah, don't get sleepy on the road, please.
So there I use the pale yellow to transfer between the purple and the yellow. And it does a great job of bridging that gap and making it appear that it is the cloth that is highlighting and not just the colors. You have to be careful with that. Otherwise, you wind up in a situation where, like I said, your colors can be imbalanced in the way they appear highlighted, because the light will look the same across both colors in general, right? So here on this fold, I'm just going to do, just with the light tip of the brush, come in here and do some very wispy little brush strokes and go right across from the purple to the yellow.
Zoom in more?
You can if you want.
I did. I made the decision before you answered. Chess, that's awesome. Do you have like really hardcore serious karaoke people, or is it more fun? That's right. There's the Long John Silver's next to Gamers Guild.
Dun, dun, dun.
The North one or the Tempe one? There's the North one, I think.
Yeah.
A bit of both for sure. Okay. Tech Badger said, with that color combo, you could go full nerd and paint him as the Knight of Weasleys, because the Weasley twins in the Harry Potter movies had a joke shop, and it's all orange and purple themed.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh! So you do the opposite, Chess. You go from north all the way down to Mesa tonight. You guys might pass each other on the road.
Wave.
Yeah, you should wave.
Hi, friends.
Oh, Frigid, we're gonna go get a brat burger, I think.
Oh, is that what we're doing? We're going to
I don't know. It sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, that's what we're doing then. I take care of Jen.
Frigid's just gonna be waving the whole time.
That's how you know who he is. When you're driving, just look for the crazy guy waving out of the window at everybody.
Forks and boards was pretty good. We had a big staff meeting up there once, and we used one of their, well, I think just the one big room that they have.
At
the
Gamers
nice
Guild?
table, yeah, at Gamers Guild, and we had their lunch. We had lunch for our whole staff from Forks and Boards. It was good.
Was that just what the restaurant's called?
Yeah.
I never remember. This is a very thin glaze, as you can see. I'm not trying to have every brushstroke show up. I just want to have a nice, even brightness across, and that'll allow me to carry the yellow into the purple and keep that highlight going. If I do this to opaque across a flat area of purple, you may not be happy with the way the yellow highlights it. But when I can keep it like that, then that works pretty well.
Oh, Frigid, we're closed today anyway, so yeah, definitely get what you need from Gamers Guild. And Jason and I are currently in a completely different building. We don't have anything here anyway. So. Joshua Lee, let us know. You are welcome to stop by.
What's that?
Joshua said, I'm going to a conference in El Paso next month. I might just go a couple extra states just to stop by.
Holy cow. El Paso's only 11 hours?
Yeah, it's not that far.
by car.
We're closer to El Paso than El Paso is to like Houston, I think.
Yes, you can
which is wild.
You can get to El Paso quicker from here than you can from Dallas.
They're out of Monument mold line scrapers and Dauntless brush sets. They restock frequently. They are very consistent orders. Only 11 hours. I mean, that's when it's 2 states away. When you think about it the other way, Droth, what I said was it's closer from Phoenix to El Paso than it is from El Paso to Houston, and that's in the same state.
Yeah, it's in the same state. You can go 2 states quicker than you can go to El Paso from Dallas.
You're flying your plane. Well, then definitely stop by. Most people think Texas is big, but it's huge.
you can land it on our roof.
No, please don't land on our roof or on any of our streets. That was a thing here for a while. There were like 3 small planes that did emergency landings on streets in Phoenix, all really close in proximity or in time to each other.
I can zoom out.
Zoom out?
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty good.
Yeah, that looks good.
Pretty good.
I say that like I'm surprised.
Again, the pale yellow on the purple works great. Pale yellow becomes your, when we talk about fake whites, this is it in action, right? You can take a color that is bright in value and you can use it against colors that you might not really think you would want to highlight with it, and it works great. Purple is a warm enough color that yellow doesn't affect it too badly. And so I can edge highlight the brightest edge there with just pale yellow on both, and that keeps it consistent for my shine the same way it does across the folds on the back there. Now, if you go too heavy, you can make it look weird. It can look like color is encroaching across the middle, but that's why I leave the middle line a little bit darker so that even as you do that, you still get that visual breakup. And that gives you a really good look. I guess I should probably, on some of these folds, go a little bit of pale yellow on the purple down here.
One Wolf, enjoy your dinner. We're about to get dinner as well, even though it's only 4 o'clock. That's what we do on Fridays.
Yes. We go eat with the old people. Solidarity with our fellow geriatrics.
Photon said the cloth looks amazing and to me, very realistic.
Why, thank you. Cloth is really fun because it's one of the few places where you can get away with, cloth, wood, skin sometimes. We can get away with this very light brushstroke that gives it texture. And that's one of the things I love when you can kind of be more freewheeling with the brushstrokes, because it gives a model a different kind of life, so to speak, when it has not just a smooth blend on everything, right? Again, this is just the same pale yellow. I'm just brightening up a couple of places on here on the purple to match with the fact that we've done it where the yellow and the purple cut across. And I think that really drives it home. Boom, that makes sense. There you go. Bisected purple and yellow in a way that keeps it kind of dirty, right? It's not too LA Lakers, but you're getting the combo of yellow and purple that works so well, but you don't have to do it in that super bright saturated way that makes it look like a sports team. And now we can bring, you can imagine, like after we do the browns on the leathers and stuff, we could bring like dirt onto the bottom of the tunic. We can do all sorts of things to weather it back that makes it look even more beaten and used. So I think that's going to be a really good start. I'm very happy with that. Now I'm excited to paint these Crusaders. I just have to remember what I just did.
To go back and watch your stream.
I'm old. I don't remember anything. So there you go. That was a good palette cleanser from Tao.
Yay. Nice.
Painting cloth, learning the wrinkles, shadows, and edges really appeals to you. Yeah. The biggest thing with cloth, I think, well, not the biggest. We've talked about a lot of big things. One of the big things with cloth is making sure that you don't just paint the highlight on the top edge. You know, if you look at that video that I do where it's like, just do this, it's like the top edge gets highlight, and then you highlight the top edge again until you run out of space, but you don't leave the underside of the fold super dark. You have to do a glaze of your mid-tone and a glaze of your highlight sometimes in the shadow, so that you don't make it too distinguished as, you know, like black and white. You can build too much contrast in what wouldn't necessarily, because these folds aren't super deep on the model. You just want enough of a shadow there. So you notice there's nowhere up except for up right inside of there and under the underarm where the burnt orange kind of exists on its own still. Right? They all have the yellows layered over the burnt orange shadows on the fold. Same with the purple, is that you layer the royal purple and the plum and everything over that, so that you don't get the dark purple except like right here in this part where you can see it folds over to the thigh very deeply, and then under the arm maybe. And here at like the very tip of the shield maybe, just to give it that same match of value across the yellow. Because again, the thing is you're shading the shield. And so when you paint hazard stripes, checkerboards, diamond patterns on harlequins, all these things, you have to remember you're not highlighting purple or shading purple. You're highlighting a shield. You're using the color that you're painting the shield to do the highlights and the shadows, but remember your shadow for the yellow and the shadow for the purple better be very similar values. Right? The midtones better be similar values, and the brights better be similar values. The colors themselves set themselves apart, but you can't allow that to like have the dark purple be here and then a bright yellow on the shadow on the other side. It'll unbalance it, and then you'll lose the volume of the shield itself. I see too many people paint hazard stripes and highlight the stripes. Well, the stripes aren't to be highlighted. They're just flat paint on a flat surface, unless they are embossed or engraved or something. But people will highlight the top of the stripe as if it's a thing. It's not a thing. It's just a painted surface. So highlight the surface equally. Don't highlight the stripes. Don't highlight the free-handed part, the painted part. Just highlight the surface it's painted on. And that's a part that will help bring it to life more and more. Katarina, have a wonderful weekend yourself. I really appreciate everybody hanging in with us on a Friday before the weekend kicks in. Hope everybody has great plans. Hopefully go off and have some fun. Relax if that's all you want to do. I'll be building models and painting. I think Kyle wants to hobby tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he asked if we wanted to hobby this weekend, so I need to get in touch with him and see what's going on.
Very cool.
So that'll be fun. So yeah, we're going to game tonight. Good gosh, got a whole weekend of just fun nerd stuff. I keep forgetting that I'm about to go and roll dice and play games, and I don't even remember where my dice are, so we'll see how fun it is. But thanks, everybody. That's a proper hobby nerd should. Yes. Yes. But thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us, watching some paint dry. As always, enjoy the weekend. Make sure to check out the links Jen put in chat there. Check out the store. Buy yourself some Monument Hobbies products. Paint some models. Have some fun. It's easy, see? Easy.
Easy.
It's super easy. And join our Discord. We've got a tremendous amount of amazing artists just like yourselves over there for inspiration, places where you can go and talk and ask these same kind of questions 24 hours a day. And our community is very, very awesome and will help you along the way if you've got a question, and give you a spot where you can also help others and progress them through. It's a great friendly atmosphere and a great place to hang out. So we enjoy having you over there. Stick around. Jen is going to find us somebody to raid. Kenny's probably on.
Kenny's on.
Kenny's on.
I was just going to say, because we do this every day, right? Monday through Friday. Next week, I'm here a lot.
What?
I'm here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Who let Chris off? Who approved Chris having that much time off? I'm not here on Tuesday.
Oh.
So it will be Chris and Baby J, I believe, on Tuesday. And then Jen will be filling in for Chris. Chris has got his brother in town. They're having some cool family stuff, so he's taking some time off, even though he just was on a boat.
Well, his brother is on leave, so that's
likely
important.
Story.
It's an important time they get to spend
together.
So
we'll get a lot of Jen time next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next week we also... No, that's the following week we have our celebratory stream, so that's going to be fun. On July 3rd, we have our anniversary stream coming up, so that'll be a lot of fun.
That too.
Good. All right, gang. Follow the raid and show some love in Kenny's chat when we get there, and enjoy your weekend with the hobby. We will see you back here on Monday. Bye. Adios.